The Fabulous Fox Theater and the Repertory Theatre of St. Louis have announced their new seasons, and we'll have a preview next on City Corner. I'm Steve Potter, and welcome to City Corner. Well, if you enjoy live theater, there's a lot to look forward to. Later in the program, we're going to take a look at the new season for the Repertory Theatre of St. Louis. But first, we'll turn our attention to the Fabulous Fox, and we welcome Emily Murphy. Hi, Emily. Welcome to the program.
Hi, good to be here.
Good to have you here for your first time, by the
Yeah.
way. So congratulations on your new job.
Thank you.
And it's we always enjoy seasons at the Fox, and your new season starts at the end of September.
It does.
With a show that I'm just familiar with as a little kid growing up watching the TV version. We're talking about the Addams Family. What's that about?
Yeah, the Addams Family, the musical. You'll see a lot of your favorite Addams Family characters that you remember growing up. But we'll have an all-new story. It's a lot of fun. It centers around Wednesday Addams, who is now all grown up. Little Wednesday.
No kidding.
And she's bringing home her boyfriend to meet the family for the first time. And the surprise here is she walks through the door with a normal, respectable young man, and the family just really doesn't know what to do. He's kind of a strange specimen here, so. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of great music, and it's great for kids. Why
don't we take a look? We have a little segment of the program. This is the Addams Family, running September 27th through October 9th at the Fabulous Fox. That's the Addams Family. It seems like a normal family to me.
Right, yeah, they're pretty normal.
The season at the Fox continues in December, opening December 6th, with the Rat Pack. It's the Christmas Rat Pack. Now, I saw the Rat Pack that was here a couple of years ago, so it would be along those lines. Saw the great music from Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., and Dean Martin.
Yes.
Right.
So you'll get to see them singing a lot of their classic hits, you know, as you'll recall from the show that we had at the Fox a few years ago, but it's an all-new holiday version, so you'll get a lot of great holiday hits as well.
Yeah, and they kind of made you feel like you were in Las Vegas, sort of, you know.
Right,
They're out there doing the jokes, smoking their cigarettes and drinking their martinis. And
yeah, you get to see their personality shine through in there as well. It's a lot of fun.
Okay. Then, next year, 2012, that's hard to believe, opening on January 3rd, La Cage aux Folles.
Yeah, this is a wonderful, wonderful revival of La Cage aux Folles. It took home the Tony Award for Best Revival of a Musical last year. It's a great, hilarious new production, and we're really excited to have George Hamilton starring.
No kidding.
Yeah, he's fantastic in the show. We can't wait.
Okay, we do have a segment from that show. Let's take a look.
Have arrived at La Cage aux Folles.
We are what we are, and what we are is an illusion.
Bonsoir.
We love how it feels, putting on heels, causing confusion. We face life, though it's sometimes sweet and sometimes bitter. Face life with a little.
That's La Cage at the Fox. Of course, a lot of people have seen the movie.
Right.
There's the original movie in French in translation, then the remake with Nathan Lane and
The Birdcage.
The Birdcage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Next, February 14th, Valentine's Day, you open with a classic that just about everybody knows, West Side Story.
West Side Story, yeah. It's kind of fun that we're opening on Valentine's Day with this show. It's a classic romance, one of the most beautiful, moving American musical theater shows that you'll ever see. The music in this show is just phenomenal. The choreography is outstanding. You'll get to see Jerome Robbins' original Broadway choreography recreated.
Let's take a peek at that right now. West Side Story. That's West Side Story, February 14th through the 26th. And Emily, all the shows we're seeing is what you call your Broadway series, right?
Yeah, this is our 6-show Broadway, U.S. Bank Broadway series.
Okay, the final 2 in the season I'm not familiar with, so I'm really anxious for you to tell me about them. Running March 27th through April 8th is Bring It On.
Bring It On, the musical. Now, a lot of people are familiar with the Bring It On movie franchise, and this show is inspired by those movies, but it's an all-new story, and it's still set in that world of competitive high school cheerleading. One of the really exciting things about the show is not only will you see, traditional Broadway choreography, but you'll get to see live cheerleading stunts done on stage. It's pretty cool.
And who doesn't like that?
Yeah.
Bring it on. Then you finish out the Broadway series May 1st through 13th with Memphis.
Memphis it's a really phenomenal show, and we're very excited to be closing our season with this show. It took home the Tony Award for Best Musical last year, and it's just the music, the story, it's all brand new, and it's really phenomenal. Follows the birth of rock and roll from the perspective of a radio DJ and a nightclub singer in 1950s Memphis. And the music, which is written by Bon Jovi keyboardist David Bryan, it's all new music, but it's amazing how it captures that soulful rhythm and blues sound.
So it's new music, but if you hadn't heard it, you'd think it was music from the 50s.
Right, because he's just done such an amazing job of capturing that sound. It's great.
Well, let's sample that right now.
If you listen to the beat and hear what's in your soul, you'll never let anyone steal your rock and roll. Your rock and roll.
That's Memphis, May 1st through 13th. At the Fabulous Fox, and that concludes the Broadway series. And we're going to talk about the off series here in just a second. But what do you recommend about tickets? I guess subscriptions are always make sense financially.
Right. And one of the great things about our subscription packages this year is for the first time we're offering all the price levels on the orchestra floor. So, and those prices start just at $70 for Thursday matinees and $99 for Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday evenings. And that's on the orchestra floor. That's tickets to all 6 of those shows, which is a pretty amazing deal.
Okay. And coming up a little bit later, when the interview is done, we're going to have some contact information. A number of people can call, or they can go to the website and find out more information about that. Well, tell me about your off-season series.
So our off series, which, if you become a subscriber, you have the first...
I said off-season. I didn't mean off-season, did I?
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's, it means the same thing.
Okay.
But subscribers have the first chance to purchase single tickets to these shows, and before they go on sale to the general public. And those shows are Billy Elliot, which will be here this November.
Everybody knows about Billy Elliot.
Billy Elliot, it's great. Music by Elton John, a fantastic show, really great story.
It's about a young kid that wants to be a dancer.
Right. They send him to boxing lessons. He comes from this working class family, and then he discovers his passion for dance. And he's got an amazing talent. It's a really amazing show.
Okay, and
then we have Beauty and the Beast, which will be here the week of Christmas. Classic show, really fun show for the family. And then in January we'll have Rain, a tribute to the Beatles, which recently just closed a run on Broadway. It's a huge hit, wonderful show. Then we'll have Rock of Ages, which is a brand new musical. It's a lot of fun. They're making it into a movie right now, and it tells a love story in the 1980s, and it's set to all these really amazing 80s hits. Journey, REO Speedwagon, Pat Benatar. It's like being at a rock concert.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
You got to love it. And if you've never been to the Fox Theater, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I always say it's worth the price of a ticket. Just go ahead and look around.
I know. Every time I go in there, I see something new. It's really, it's such a beautiful building.
Emily, I want to ask you about a couple of things. I know that you've done some behind-the-scenes things this year, maybe part of last year too, some renovations, including air conditioning.
Right. Yeah. One thing that people will notice when they come back. I think our next show is August 24th with Steely Dan. We'll have a brand new air conditioning system, which this is a replacement of the old air conditioning system that has been part of the theater since it opened in 1929.
You know, I didn't know they had air conditioning in 1929.
Right. Yeah, I think that was one of the big draws to the theater when it first opened, was that it was one of the few places people could cool down in the summertime.
Yeah.
But you know, that system is being replaced. It's kind of sad to see it go, but at the same time, we're glad to have a very amazing energy efficient system being put in.
Right. So the Fox is green now.
Yeah. It not only, you know, is it helping us cut our bills in half, but it's also cutting our energy consumption, which is great.
Any other renovations you might want to mention?
You know, while the theater was down for renovations with the air conditioning system, we're putting in a lot of LED lighting in the theater, which also
means
helping.
No heat, right? Is that what LED is?
Yeah, it's just a much more energy efficient lighting source for us, which is great. They're doing some work to the facade in front of the theater, and they're also still doing some repairs in the lobby. So.
Yeah, well, it's an exciting, you know, and the whole arts district there on Grand, where the Fox is located, is really been blossoming over the last few years. In fact, St. Louis Public Radio, where I work, we're in the middle of building a building there, and there are other arts venues and museums, and it's just an exciting place to be. It is.
It's really just a wonderful area of St. Louis.
Well, Emily, we want to thank you very much, and it looks like another exciting season at the Fox. Thanks for sharing that with us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And we'll have contact information if you want to find out more about the shows and how to get tickets and any kind of discounts and all that good stuff.
Yep.
Be sure and look that up. And coming up next, we're going to take a look at the new season for the Repertory Theatre of St. Louis. Stay with us.
I remember how much you said you liked mine.
Oh.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
So my uncle calls and he says he's dizzy and he's losing his balance. I'm like, Unc, you want me to take you to a doctor? He's like, no, I'm going to look up the symptoms. I said, your symptoms are you're dizzy and you're losing your balance. So he said, I can't get on the internet because my arm is numb. I said, well, use your good arm and dial 911. Stroke's no joke. If you or someone you love is showing symptoms of stroke, don't wait because it might be too late. Dial 911. Time lost is brain lost.
Experience St. Louis.
Listen, I know you're upset, but it was just one date. And dating's like the stock market. There's ups and downs and ups. So always buy low.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
I'm Steve Potter, and today on City Corner, we're previewing some great theater in St. Louis, and it's time now to find out what's going on at the Repertory Theatre of St. Louis, and we welcome back Becky Hadley. Hi, Becky. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks.
Repertory Theatre of St. Louis, getting ready for another exciting season.
It's our 45th season.
And there's really nothing like, I mean, the Rep certainly has its own identity in St. Louis with the type of shows that they produce.
Definitely. Live professional theater. and it's awesome.
At the beautiful Loretto Hilton
Yeah, the Loretto Hilton Center in Webster Groves.
on the campus of Webster.
That's right.
So it's let's just jump right into it. Now,
Okay.
maybe we should make the distinction ahead of time. You have the main stage,
Right.
which is the main stage.
Yeah.
But you also have a small black box theater downstairs where you do smaller shows.
Right. That's where we hold our studio theater series. And so they're smaller shows typically, and it's fun when we have both main stage and studio going on at the same time. You know, you have people coming and going upstairs, people going and going downstairs, and it's just fun that all this theater is happening.
And
right
for
there.
people that don't know, you've got a great lobby upstairs where you can get a little something to eat, something to
Yeah,
drink, kind of hang out.
Cafe at the Rep, and we have new menu options this year, and you can make reservations online now.
And some killer cookies and desserts.
Yeah, you're not going to want to miss
I have
those.
noticed those.
Yes, and drinks.
Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the main stage your new season opens on September the 7th with Red. Now, people may remember a movie, Red, but it's got nothing to do with this show.
No, yeah, definitely not. The movie Red is funny, and this play Red is a lot more serious. It's about Mark Rothko, the expressionist painter. A lot of people don't know a lot about Mark Rothko, but very tormented person, born in 1903, and then he killed himself in 1970. But we don't know about that in the play.
Good.
In the play, we follow Mark Rothko and his assistant Ken. And Rothko was charged with doing these big paintings for the Four Seasons in New York City. Yeah, exactly. And it follows him doing the work, and he's kind of struggling because you've got new modern artists coming in, and he mixes his paint like with this century-old technique, and it's just, we're diving into his mind and seeing how he paints. And the assistant Ken, and he's a very interesting character because he kind of challenges Rothko. Because Rothko's kind of set in his ways, and he smokes a lot, and he's just a very kind of angry person, but very brilliant too.
Delving into the mind of a tormented artist. That must be quite a ride.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And the set, we just saw it yesterday. We just started first rehearsals, and it's going to be amazing.
That's Red, September 7th through October the 2nd. Then, October 12th through November the 6th, God of Carnage.
God of Carnage, and the title of this play, I think, will maybe confuse people, but you know, if you see the image right there on the screen, you're like, it's stick people, what is this? This is what we call a 90-minute thrill ride to parenthood. These two little kids have like a playground brawl, one like hits the other one or something, and so their very refined, sophisticated parents come together that evening, both sets, to discuss the matter, and they end up throwing tantrums and being worse than the kids.
They become the children.
It's hysterical. Tony Award-winning play in 2009. It's going to just take people for a ride.
So you have real child actors in this one?
No, you actually don't see the kids.
Oh, really?
So it's just the two sets of parents.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Lots of vase breaking and things like that will be happening.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, it's very action-packed.
Well, here's one most people would be familiar with, at least the whole concept, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, which opens November 30th.
Yeah, and this is by Laura Eason. It's an adaptation of course, Mark Twain's, Tom Sawyer. Fun thing to mention about this play is that there aren't any children in the play. It's adults acting childlike. This is a play with a lot of movement in it. So you have to come just to see what that's all about. And it just follows Tom Sawyer and his friends and, a small town day, and he's, chucking up his Aunt Polly and having a good time with his friends. And it's our holiday show, and it's not a kid's show. It's for everybody, for families.
So it's not the same story we're familiar with necessarily, painting the fence and all that.
You do see a little of that, but yeah, it's an adaptation, so it's a little different.
And it's got that nice, local hook to it, Hannibal
Yes.
just being up the way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So people will enjoy it. I mean, it's a classic.
Absolutely. Then you are doing a musical, which I think this is in fact a musical I've always wanted to see and never have. Stephen Sondheim's Sunday in the Park with George.
Yes.
Okay, who's George?
George is Surratt.
The artist.
And the musical, the first half kind of focuses on him, and the last half focuses on his grandson, actually. Beautiful music. I mean, Sondheim, you can't go wrong. Book by James Lapine, so it's fabulous dialogue, and it's just a really beautiful show.
So what's sort of the plot to that one?
It's interesting. Surratt's grandson is kind of taking a spin on his grandfather's work, and it's kind of like our art season or something like that. So he's learning about his grandfather's work, and he's kind of putting a twist on it, and it's just it shows growth. It's a really warm-hearted story, and there's a romance too, so you can't go wrong.
Okay, want to tell us more about that?
No.
We're interested in the romance, Becky.
Well, I can't tell you. All I can tell you is that there's a lady named Dot, and she's amazing.
Okay,
so.
we'll leave it at that then. Then February 8th through March 4th, a play called Race.
David Mamet play, and if you're familiar with David Mamet at all, right away you should know strong language, kind of intense play. This well-to-do white man is accused of raping a young black woman. So the play focuses around these lawyers who are kind of charged to deal with the case. And there's a big twist in the plot, and it's asked tough questions, and I think it'll be really riveting.
Sort of like To Kill a Mockingbird, that kind of...
Kinda. I mean, you know what happens, but it's that whole, the law and the system and what's right and what's wrong, and it just poses a lot of really tough questions.
Sounds like one of those plays where people have a lot of conversations afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And speaking of conversations, I might jump in. You do a talk back. Do you do that with every show?
Well, we typically do. We're actually not going to have post shows with Race. We're not allowed to. Something about the rights.
It's in the contract.
Yeah, something's in the contract. So we won't have post shows for Race. But I can tell you that we are planning a separate event right now, details to come, where it'll give people the opportunity to come together and talk about it.
Okay, good. Race, February 8th through March the 4th. Then you finish your main stage season March 14th through April 8th with Comedy of Errors, which is a Shakespeare play.
Right. Only it's got a new twist. This play, it will be set in like 1940s, like Louisiana, around Mardi Gras time. So, I mean, the story's funny in itself anyway. It's two sets of twins, and they don't know that they're twins, and so they converge like on the Big Easy, and this twin gets mixed up with the other twin and the other set of twins, and it's confusing and funny. And then to make it even more of a twist, Paul Mason Barnes, the director who directed Macbeth for us last season, he's going to throw in like modern day characters, so you might see Paula Deen, you might see Emerald. I mean, you just won't know what you're in for.
I have some of Paula Deen's cookware, just so you know.
Yeah. Well, bring it with you.
Yeah, I'll bring it to the show.
And bring some beads.
That's what's interesting about Shakespeare. What I think is interesting, how they mix it up. Yeah. They might make it in modern times, as you say, bring in modern elements, and you never know what to expect. Right?
That's what's so great about Shakespeare. It just transcends through time. You can do whatever you want.
Comedy of Errors. Okay, that's on the main stage. Then downstairs, you have your smaller productions. There's a little black box studio theater. And what does that seat? 100 people?
125-ish. Yeah. Depending on the setup of the stage. Sometimes our seats vary.
So it's very intimate. And it's a whole different kind of show than what you're going to see upstairs.
Definitely.
And I'm not familiar with any of these, so I'm so curious for you to tell me about them. Your studio season opens October 26th with Circle, Mirror, Transformation.
Right, just hot off of Broadway, and it follows 5 people in a small town who, for the fun of it, they don't really know each other, but they're going to go take an acting class, and then they end up getting way more out of it than what they bargained for. It's a really subtle play, it's insightful, and it just kind of reminds us like why theater is the most human of all arts, essentially. And it's directed by Stuart Carden, who just did In the Next Room or the Vibrator play for us in the studio last year, so it'll be fantastic. Yeah,
and we were talking about how intimate those shows are. They're small, you're not going to have a cast of 10 in the studio.
No.
Usually 2 or 3 or 4, right? Maybe at the most.
Not very big at all, so it'll be 5 in this one.
All right.
And their acting coach.
Then January 18th through February 5th, A Steady Rain.
A Steady Rain, yep, and this is directed by Steve Wolf, our artistic director, and this is a really intense show. This did very well on Broadway. It starred Hugh Jackman. It's 2 friends who are cops in Chicago, and they're really tight. They know each other's families well, and this just horrific event kind of brings them together and then tears them apart, and it's a ride.
Can you be any more specific?
It's
I know
hard.
you don't like to give away details, Becky.
I don't like to. I like to just tease you and get you there to see the show. Yeah. All I'll say is it's just something awful happens and they don't handle the situation very well. They both kind of make some mistakes, and then they have to deal with the consequences of that, and their friendship kind of, I don't know, it's tested. Yeah.
Then the studio season concludes March 7th through 25th with The Invisible Hand.
The Invisible Hand. This is a brand new play by a first-generation American, Ayed Akhtar, and I can't wait to see this play because when I was reading it, I could not put it down. I just read it straight through. It follows a man by the name of Nick Bright, and he's a really successful investment banker, and he's kidnapped while he's in Pakistan
Well, I see the little counties. He's keeping track of the days there on the wall. I can see,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He's locked in tight. They're not going to let him go. And the reason they kidnap him is because not only is he very knowledgeable about money, he's knowledgeable about how the United States of America handles their money. And so this is of interest to the people who have kidnapped him. So it is totally riveting on what he has to do and what he has to teach them in order to get himself out. Huh. It's really emotional.
Okay, that's in March, The Invisible Hand. And The Invisible Hand also is the first play of something new for the Rep, this new play festival. What's that about?
Yeah, our new play festival, Seth Gordon, our associate artistic director, who I should mention is also directing The Invisible Hand, he has curated a new play festival, and it's called Ignite, ! And so The Invisible Hand will be the first play to kind of kick it off. And what this is it's essentially like workshopping. Playwrights can submit their plays, and then a couple will be chosen to be read aloud to people. People can come. It's $10. They can come in, hear the play, give their feedback on it right away. So the playwright has the opportunity to kind of workshop, and hopefully out of one of the plays, we'll pick and actually produce it at the Rep.
Okay, in a couple of moments, we're going to have information come up on the screen, a phone number and a website, and people can find out more about the seasons and the plays and all that. A blood drive in early September, do you do that every year?
No. We've done a blood drive before in the past, but this is the first one we've done since I've been around. And it's Tuesday, September 6th, and it's kind of in collaboration with Red. Blood is red. Get it?
Yeah.
So this is in collaboration with the Red Cross, and people can come to the lobby from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and donate blood, and we'll give them $5 off their purchase to come see Red.
Well, always a good cause.
Yeah, well, and they're so low on blood supply right now that it just seemed like the right thing to do to help them out and get people out to help.
Okay. Becky, what would you want to say about tickets? You know, you can either, do the subscription thing, which means you have tickets for the season, or you can do individuals. Mm-hmm. Do they go on sale at different times, and what's all that?
Subscriptions, I mean, of course, it's the best way. You get the best seats at the best price. You get benefits, free parking, I mean, discounts, all kinds of things. And you can do, with our main stage, you can do a 6-show package, so that's everything. You can do a pick package. You can just pick a few that you want to see, so you don't have to come see them all. You can subscribe to our studio theater. You can just kind of do whatever you want. So subscriptions are the best because you get a lot of benefits. But if you're just looking to see a show here or there, single tickets are on sale. And you can call our box office, or you can go online at repstl.org.
Well, it's exciting.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
Please give our regards to Steve Wolf and everybody at the
course.
Repertory Theatre of St. Louis. It's one of my favorite places to go.
Good.
And I've been going there I think I've been going for over 20 years.
Yeah, we love having you.
Yeah, thanks, Becky.
Yeah.
Becky Hadley from the Repertory Theatre of St. Louis. Well, St. Louis is a great theater town. We hope you'll go to the Rep and go to the Fox, and there are a million other great companies you should check out. Enjoy theater in St. Louis. We'll see you next time. Bye.